17-6, but gave up the late first half touchdown with 30 seconds to go. Was that a turning point, you think, in this one?
I don't know if it was a turning point. I think our guys kind of rallied and recovered it at times, but just didn't seize enough moments there early. The defense was playing well enough, whether it was offensively or on special teams, had to give them some help and make a couple plays. Had a couple great throws. Had the drop touchdown. The snap issue we haven't had any snap issues all year, and that was a screenplay that probably would have gone a long way. And so just all those little things, setting the edge on that one run, tackle, those are all little things that turn that into that 24-point point.
It didn't seem like the offense was in sync tonight. Is that from your point?
That's fair to say. Yeah, you got to give them credit. I think they had a great plan, kind of did a lot of their base stuff, and just mixed it up, and as soon as you kind of plug one hole in the dike, that another one opened up, and whether that was a one-on-one matchup or just one half step of communication that you don't get done, those guys are, talented enough to make you pay for it.
There's been several games this year where you guys allow touchdowns at the end of the first half, they get the run against the ball, open the second, scores again.
Yeah.
Knowing that, why take the ball to start this game?
Why take the ball to start? That's our mentality. We believe a lot in what we're doing, and the possessions are what matters in college football. And there's a million things of you could go back on this series or that series that's certainly not a deciding factor. You don't want to base your philosophy on giving up 2 touchdowns consecutive drives.
We touched on offense already. What were you seeing out of USC's defense to kind of have those quick 3 and outs to start the game off?
Well, they're very talented and they're very well coached, and it's a bunch of guys that those guys on their back end were the same guys that were kind of vilified the last couple of years, and they've all grown up. A couple new guys up front, and they played. They're playing as a team very well right now. And complementing one another really well. You look at the times their defense answers and stops us after giving up maybe after the shank punt the shank punt I guess we scored, but after some other quote unquote deficiency they answered.
You're trailing at 18 midway through the third quarter. Went for a 4th down. The pass got batted down by Justin. What's the calculus that goes into going for it there at the 11 instead of kicking and making it potentially?
Yeah, at some point you've got to go. We've got some analytics that would be the answer, but feeling. We had a good play there and didn't convert.
Coach Wilson is in the back here. Coach Wilson.
Royce is why he hasn't been as productive as
Well, tonight is obviously unique, but there's things every week with every guy that we're trying to solve, and some of that's mental, some of that's psychological, and some of it's physical. So somewhere on that continuum.
What was unique about tonight?
What's that? What did I think about tonight? Well, I'm saying tonight is different than other nights. Of who you're playing, how they're playing you. And just couldn't get in any rhythm offensively. That was the problem.
You got some personality challenges. It's obvious you're not as physical or as athletic sometimes as the competition. What are you doing can you do anything to close that gap? What are you doing?
Well, I don't know if you're alluding to recruiting, but obviously recruiting is a part of it. Playing your tails off with confidence and coaching them up to develop them. It's all there's no secret to any of that. We were without Austin Malawatu was suspended for this game. Didn't play, didn't travel. But yeah, that's always ongoing.
Was there a reason why Carrington didn't play the first 2 series?
No.
How do you figure, clearly they got a lead on you, but then Darren, did he lose it in the sun? I don't know if he's going to come out to answer that. Did he lose that long ball in the sun?
I don't know.
How big would that have been? I know it's high.
Would have been pretty big. That play and then the snap that they were bringing a perfect pressure to what we had called, and that's where you got to seize those moments and make those plays. And again, for all of our young guys, the message is that has to happen on Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning, or watching film and totally dialed in on this play. Whether it's the 3rd and inches that sprung into a huge touchdown. I have to fit my gap with great pad level, and you got to get these guys on the ground because they'll make a a 2-yard gain into a 70.
It seemed like Pendergast made an effort to blitz Justin a lot, so that factored into offense being out of sync today.
Well, they did. Yeah, they did a great job of just changing it up, and that's kind of, we talked last night with some of the media guys. That's kind of what we thought they would do. Is they kind of do a deal basically of it's a bluff sometimes, and they pressure you sometimes, and that combination of things against a freshman quarterback and the young offensive line it's kind of a perfect recipe of putting actual pressure and then perceived pressure, and so again, you set for one thing and that guy drops out of it, then you've got just a different issue, and so they did a great job of that, and yeah, got to us.
How do you think Justin handled the pressure that obviously brought today?
I think there'll be things that he'll look back on. Hey, I wish I would have thrown this one away, or wish I would have tucked this one. But that guy was rock solid as far as knowing what happened and why things did or didn't work out. And that's a huge part of the battle for a young quarterback.
You've got a bunch of young players who are playing a lot. Are you getting enough out of your established veteran players across the board?
Well, that's a constant battle too. Of we're competing every single day. Tony started the game because Tony's playing better right now, and that's a perfect representation of we're going to compete every single week is a new week. But we that doesn't mean we don't believe in Royce. It means that right now today, he's playing. Tony's just being more productive, and that will never not be the case. Same thing at receiver.
Anything else, Mark?
How do you feel Justin's kind of handled the taking?
I missed the first part of that. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, how do you feel Justin's kind of handled moving into that starting role, just kind of for the first game that he took over now?
He's been great. He's the biggest thing for a quarterback that is practice and being a great practice player, because that it makes your game plan right first of all, but then that exudes confidence and spreads confidence throughout your team, and so he's been really good in practice. He'll obviously take this hard and take way too much of the blame, which that's his job, my job, and we'll move forward. But believe in him 100%.
Will Austin's suspension not something that's going to carry over to future weeks, or is it one game?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question, Mark. This program has a great reputation as a losing season since '04. You've got to go 3-0 to make a bowl game. You talk to your guys about that. Hey, let's do this.
Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about it a little bit right there. There is no margin for error. Zero margin for error. And that's something that you're talking about, and we're talking about constantly in February. But right now, for even the most short-sighted person, there's no margin for error.
All right, thank you.